a world where data is the new oil, we are no longer drilling for raw insights. We are designing intelligent AI-powered products, data products that think, adapt, and scale. Welcome to the Digital Architect Conclave podcast series, where we speak with technology top minds shaping the future of enterprise architecture. Hi everyone, I am Gaurav from NIIT StackRoute, and today's guest, he is the cornerstone of that future. With over 25 years of experience in data analytics, engineering, AI, and distributed platform, he heads technology solutions globally, advises CXOs and startup founders alike, and build high-performing deep tech teams. So please join me in welcoming Shankar Radhakrishnan, a true architect of enterprise intelligence. Shankar, thrilled to have you here.
Thank you, Gaurav. Good to be here, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. So before we deep dive, can you please tell us about your current role and what excites you most about the work, what you're doing right now?
Sure. I am part of Tiger Analytics today. Tiger Analytics is a data and AI company. We are globally present. We have clients around the globe for whom we advise at various parts of their data and as well as AI journey. And this involves understanding their business objectives, what they're intending to do, leveraging AI's power and capabilities. And likewise, we go the full mile in terms of building and aligning our capabilities for our clients around this world. And we work across industry verticals, and it's been an exciting journey. So I am part of the leadership team of Tiger Analytics from a data engineering and analytics perspective. And I have a wide variety of roles. I head few practices, technology practices, building solutions for our clients. But most often I engage with our clients directly into their data and AI journey, understand what their business goals are, advise them on how to build that strategy, technology blueprints, execution plan. And my team and I together, we basically try to meet those promises, run that full marathon to implement those programs for our clients. And that's been the exciting part of my journey. That's what we do day in and out.
That's fantastic. And Tiger being so niche in what they do, and in terms of adding value, when we had multiple talks today about unlocking the value, means Pramod Verma put it so nicely, articulated so well,
yes,
that just know doing one thing and do it so well that you can scale it up to millions and billions of people, right? So just wanted to also build on what you said. Pre-era of GenAI, right? Means Tiger has been into business for far long, seen multiple cycles of product development and growth. And since you are in the product development space, how do you see the customers' responses from pre-GenAI, agentic AI world to now?
Sure. Definitely there is a lot of buzz and excitement among our clients, prospective clients, in terms of understanding the role of AI even before they start to make investments or do some trials. So there is a genuine interest to understand AI, implement AI and unlock the value. But I have to say this space is so innovative, we have to understand that things move very, very fast.
Right.
So while there is a lot of innovation, there is excitement, there are many areas within an AI implementation or an AI strategy which has to be thoroughly thought through. Because we also need to understand the same businesses that we are talking about, wherever they are around the globe, they have made investments into various transformation programs over the last decades, if not longer. So they cannot suddenly, in terms of make a shift or make a new initiative, which is disruptive. So when it comes to AI conversations or AI strategic initiatives, the first thing that we always position is, first of all, look at this as essentially an augmentative approach where AI is essentially positioned still as an enabler, and it has to understand the current business climate, the investments that they have made, both in terms of infrastructure, software stack, and above all, the people and the skill investments that they have made. We need to understand the same business community is the one which is essentially trying to adopt as well. So there are many people aspects, change management aspects within the organization which are important as much as the technology involvement and infusing of these newer technologies to do things better comes into picture. So from that perspective, our focus has been in terms of guiding these clients not just from the technology front, but looking at it holistically in terms of the potential impact in a very positive way, and what are the things that they need to be aware of as they go through this journey, because this is not just a quick deployment and quick return. So there is a long phase of methodical ways in terms of introducing AI and then finding the business value.
Very insightful, Shankar. In fact, I'll just pick up from what you said, right? Infrastructure, building the solutions and services. And that's where the real magic happens, right? At the intersection of AI and product thinking. So, Shankar, how do you envision digital architects, right, leveraging AI across different stages of the data product lifecycle, from design to development to deployment and iterations? What has been your take and observations around that?
Sure. The first thing I would say is, as a digital architect, the experience that we have had in terms of conceiving, building, delivering on several transformation programs over the last decade or more, some of those guiding principles still are relevant today when we talk about influence of AI and specifically having this product mindset in terms of delivering insights through AI. What I mean by that is, first of all, architects have to stay true in terms of understanding the business objective and goals and positioning technology as an enabler. So it's not the other way around. The business transformation programs we have gone through in the industry multiple times, be it from, let us say, data warehousing appliances, then cloud transformations, then big data analytics, data science, AI, and generative AI. In some ways, it appears to be that history is repeating itself. But the way I take that particular direction is, some of those guiding principles that we followed, be it around the cloud transformation era or be it around the big data analytics era, still is relevant. So one is, first of all, understand the business objectives. And second is, focus in terms of bringing together a cross-functional team into your conversations early on. So don't keep business away from your transformation planning. Second part is, as a digital architect, we have to understand that ultimately we are designing a foundation which has to cater to multiple business and as well as technology groups. So it is not just siloed by design. In fact, it's the opposite. We should be catering to maximum amount of businesses and the use cases that the businesses may or may not have uncovered. So from that perspective, in so many ways, we are acting like a futurist. You are looking into the future and building this foundation which should only grow and as well as get refined over a period of time. And as far as the skills are concerned, it's very, very important to understand that we have the latest and greatest technology understood from their point of successor's perspective, not really just getting jazzed up to introduce or force thrust a technology into the equation. Truth be told, many organizations which are truly excited about AI really struggle in terms of finding the right use case to start their journey. So when I wear the hat of a consultant, most of the time my conversation starts in terms of, have you identified the use case? If not to worry. Reflecting on our experience, we essentially pollinate or cross-pollinate these use cases. And then we basically take them into this journey. The last thing that I would say is, make sure that you involve this business, IT, technology, techno-functional stakeholders in every part of the journey. So the delivery mechanism has to be reimagined, where we are all operating as one team, not really as a client and a vendor, or not really as a consultant who is essentially giving a plan which would be implemented by someone else. We are all in this together in this journey, and the journey will be successful as we go through these different phases.
That's really fascinating. So just a follow-up question on that. So are you implying or saying that AI is actually redefining the very idea of what a product is?
AI has the potential to redefine, but first, as an architect, it gives me a lot of confidence apart from enthusiasm to reimagine the enterprise, the problems that we are facing today, the opportunities which previously we may not have ventured into, opportunities which we may not have even thought about before. AI is essentially allowing me to reimagine that. And second is, there is a lot of innovation in this space, mainly driven from open source communities and academia. So as digital architects, our role is to actually tap live into this system, understand how these innovations are shaping up. And it is not a case where only the established big software vendors are the only ones who are propelling this industry. They have a play,
Right.
not to get me wrong, but the point here is we have to essentially understand the different dynamics in this ecosystem, understand the power of technology, and position AI for the right use cases and scenarios. It should not be thought that AI will solve all the problem. AI has limitations. There are many rough edges which are getting smoothened and polished by the day, but there are several scenarios where AI may not be ready today for us to solve the problem. And we also need to be true in terms of the investments that the businesses have made over a period of time, not to get locked into those traps, but selectively in terms of reimagine those scenarios as how AI or generative AI can actually solve those problems.
Excellent. It's very thoughtful of, insights. Now, moving on to the next point, with this explosion of data products, every team building their own pipelines, APIs, models, how do enterprise govern this chaos? And what frameworks and principles can ensure consistency, reusability, and compliance, right, across the board? What are your thoughts on that?
Great question. AI requires governance, very strong governance frameworks. The reason is, as much as we adore, we get jazzed up and genuinely appreciate the innovation in this space, AI requires governance across various dimensions. One is the building blocks that I would always advocate for when we are introducing AI into an enterprise is make sure that from day one you have a governance framework which runs in tandem with the teams that are involved. Because those governance policies, stakeholders, and those who are essentially the custodians of these policies and procedures within the enterprise are the ones who have to be involved in every phase of developing and deploying an AI program. And second is, these governance frameworks have to be rolled out and as well as ensure that they are followed through the life cycle of any particular program. And the typical start would be defining in terms of how the governance framework should look like. This involves in terms of experiments that, for example, the data community or the data science community would perform. What is the outcome that we are expecting out of these? What are the business objectives that may be met entirely or partially? And above all, what data sets from within the enterprise and outside that we are dealing with? And going little deeper, how the architectures, algorithms, the code that we as AI engineers or AI teams are developing are also governed in terms of other extensions of governance. So this is where ethical AI, which is close to my heart, comes into play, because it is quite possible that we see a model drift, we see a data drift, our algorithms directly or indirectly are introducing bias. So there has to be a governance framework in terms of enforcing or governing these ethical AI principles and policies as well. The last thing that we want to do is in terms of our analytics or insights, providing a biased information to our end clients or customers or consumers. So it is essentially, in my view, it is the responsibility of the people who are developing these architectures, developing these programs, are governed by these policies and procedures. And I will also add that this is an evolving field. We deal with a lot of unknowns. Yeah. When you start an AI program, when the team starts to crank in terms of this data and as well as insights, often we are entering into a space which no one would have ventured. So in so many ways, these governance frameworks have to evolve as the team evolves in delivering these promises as well.
Excellent, excellent. So for the audience, I'll stand corrected. It's more curation than chaotic, right?
Yes.
Means, and that's how the industry is moving towards, building those first principles, using first principles to set up the foundation and the ecosystems in the balance.
Absolutely.
Right? So any specific, I'll take the luxury to ask a follow-up question. Any specific use case, maybe take an example of a large organization in your friend circle, in your tech circle, or if Tiger is doing something to sort of deploy these kind of things.
Absolutely. Most of our clients are definitely governed by their IT policies and of late AI policies as well. And I have to say almost all of our client bases are dealing with some level of confidential information or private information, be it about the consumers who are buying the product or handling sensitive information about our clients as well. But again, this is start of a very complex journey.
This is the tip of the iceberg.
Yes, absolutely. And these programs go through various kinds of governance frameworks, but most often in the traditional world, these are around the outcomes or the analytics that is generated. That's the world that we all come from, where the reports are generated or the insights is delivered, and then we look at it from various different dimensions to see whether we have introduced any misinformation or inadvertently biased information. But with the infusion of AI, it's very different. It has to be different as well, where even the architectures, the models that we are building, I'm talking about AI models that we are building through infusion of software and hardware innovations, those have to be reviewed as well in terms of what are the business objectives that this model is intending to address for starters. Second is the code that the AI generators are generating. Today we have an influence of both hand coding, vibe coding, and as well as a wide variety of tools and technologies. It doesn't matter. We have to have these governance frameworks extend to all these different platforms, tools, and technologies as well. So the code review process and the testing process, the test use cases that we write to test these models and as well as algorithms has to adopt around these policies and procedures as well. And then we are dealing with handling a wide variety of data. Some of the data lies within the enterprise, which are sensitive, semi-sensitive, and widely available. And most often, the first job of a data science community or a data community would be to look for that gaps. For me to address this insight or to build this data product, if I don't have it, I look for essentially bringing that from outside. So the responsibility extends even more when I'm introducing data sets from outside to ensure that this data that we are handling, both through code and as well as the human interventions that we do when we run these programs, are governed by these policies as well. But again, as I said, the governance framework which operates within the framework of the enterprise is the one which essentially drives all this. And there are many examples, if I can extend your question, where our customers are dealing with, for example, buyer patterns, people who walk into brick and mortar stores, people who are buying these products online. We do handle a lot of sensitive information, not just the first name, last name, but so many different attributes about the buyer, about the customer, about the person who is walking in. And these are all fed into these algorithms. So the governance policy frameworks, the security frameworks, how we handle PII, personally identifiable information, are all governed by these frameworks. So the way we approach this is, if our clients have an overarching framework, we definitely adhere to that. If we find gaps or if we want to enhance that framework, we take that responsibility and accountability to be transparent to the client so that these are also essentially made part of that policy as well. In turn, it comes back to governance.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree with you. Means, I started my data science career back in 2009-10. That time it was not such a jazzy word. It used to be the most boring job in terms of when you really do. And in fact, till now, people who are actually doing it, they find it really boring, right? It's all fascinating on the other side of the world. There was no blueprint. Back then, it was more demand driven. Right. Means I started my career, by the way, in Informatica. Started doing those ETL mapping and all. BI was the game. Means companies were like cashing out millions of dollars by doing BI projects, and then suddenly moved to the predictive world. And then big data came into play, and so on. The evolution of technology happened. The reason I'm bringing this context, the digital architect conclave, is also built to address that point of the thing, right? A lot of people who are looking to become an architect, aspiring architects. I know, Pramod Verma said one thing, curse of knowledge. When you get to know so many things and you're exposed to knowledge in abundance and very cheaply, right? that you don't need to pay for for the information now. It becomes even more difficult to decide what to do and where to start.
Yeah.
We are like, I think it's a problem of plenty now. Right? In our times, we don't know what to do. There's not available resources. Now it's a problem for many. Now, I want to understand, how would you what unique competencies do today's data architect need to develop to build enterprise class data products? And is it just about tooling, using different kinds of GenAI tool and sort of sound more intellectual, if I may use so, or is there a deeper shift happening in the mindset and roles?
Absolutely, great questions. Different parts of your question I have to address in parts two.
Sorry for the longer one.
No, not at all. Great questions. So first is, as I said before, every part of the knowledge that architects of today, if you are into developers of today, has accumulated over all these years, if not decades as well, it is still relevant. And we have to understand the industry context around our clients or whom we are essentially delivering these insights as well. Let's understand that they are still invested in what we now call as legacy technologies as well. So the introduction of AI, including the technology components that you referred to, should be augmenting in an enterprise framework, not really out to replace any, because it is impossible for any enterprise, small, medium, public, large, for them to rip off their current investments into technology, their ways of working, their talent pool within the organizations, the users to whom they are catering to, the kind of business that they are running. It cannot have a disruptive model. Disruption is welcome as long as it complements your existing investments and it essentially provides that value-added services on top of what you're doing. But truth be told, AI is also a disruptive technology and as well as innovation, where, as I said before, it allows you to reimagine the status quo, question the status quo, and look for those newer possibilities.
Right.
So we have to acknowledge that every part of our existing ways of working, every part of our technical infrastructure, investments that we have made has a potential, again, quote unquote potential, to get influenced and potentially augmented with AI. That's number one. And number two is the introduction of AI into any conversation to influence a business outcome or to reimagine has to be understood from both the domain context apart from technology context.
Right.
Don't force thrust AI into a technology into a conversation to assume that it will solve all the problem.
Right.
I'll be very frank, it won't. In fact, you may not really achieve the goals that you have set out to. So that's why the newer ways of working, when you are starting to think about your AI program or AI strategy, is essentially about bringing business, technology, all the different stakeholders into this process, and then we all walk together. To the other part of your question that you asked, where can this technology essentially be looked at only from a tooling perspective? The answer is no. The tool is very compelling, the innovation is really exciting, and it can definitely solve many of the things which were previously not possible. But what is important is we define in terms of clearly what are the business objectives, what is the outcome that we come to expect, what is the journey going to essentially look like, what are the skills that we have within the enterprise, what are the additional skills that we need to have to essentially add on to the existing teams and experts, and then start this journey.
Right.
And in so many ways, it impacts in terms of your business strategy, your investments that you have made from an IT perspective, change management that you definitely need to factor in, then of course people and as well as skills. That is why the impact of AI is profound across the entire organization, not just with IT alone.
Excellent. Excellent. So to all the aspiring architects out there, that's a job description and a manifesto both, right? So great. Thanks for sharing such wonderful insights. Now I'll take a shift of gears here. Means we've been talking a lot about AI powered products, but other part is you also build talent capabilities so that can cater these kind of projects, right? So how do you see organizations like NIIT, StackRoute, or any other strategic partner playing a role in helping enterprises like yours to solve these upcoming challenges?
Great question. I'll give you a view of not just my organization, but most of the organizations who are playing an active role in the space of AI, the lay of the land. One is we have great talent in Tiger Analytics, and likewise, like many other data and analytics organization, we have capabilities across the data life cycle. But what we are seeing, what we are experiencing, which I think the industry as a whole is essentially approaching right now, is in terms of domain knowledge, business understanding apart from technology and technical understanding and capabilities.
Right.
Technical capabilities are very, very important, but here we are, the influence of AI, introduction of AI, success of AI programs lies purely when you are able to bring the business understanding, domain capabilities in addition to technical and technology capabilities. So we are a technology company. We take a lot of pride in terms of our data analytics, data science, AI background and experience. But what we are essentially telling our workforces across the organizations, across the grade level, is having a deeper understanding about various domains, be it consumer goods, be it healthcare, life sciences, because the problems that we are dealing with, the problem that we are trying to solve for our clients requires that in-depth domain understanding, not just technical positioning around these tools and technologies. And when we are able to do that, this is part of that skill transformation that we have to go through as an organization. So this is where StackRoute has been playing a very, very important role within Tiger. Our partnership has been fantastic, and my own team has been involved in terms of conceptualizing the program, exposing what kind of talent will be part of your entire training, enablement, workshops and programs. And likewise, our partnership doesn't stop there. There are many interventions along their journey as well, where StackRoute has been playing a very, very active role. So I have full appreciations, respect and kudos to everything that you guys do, because these are the real scenarios that Tiger Analytics and likewise our peers and competitors in the industry face as well. So we have to be ready in terms of having this domain plus tech functional plus technical knowledge and being able to adapt to the business scenarios apart from the technical scenarios to be successful with our clients.
Thank you. Thanks for all the kind words. Love to partner with Tiger Analytics and help them to build and especially not a basic collaborate with you guys.
Absolutely.
To build those talent pipelines. Very sharp and incredibly relevant, and Shankar, what you told. Shankar, thanks a lot for your time and sharing your insights. It has been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time.
Great meeting you. Thank you.